Do you believe fear is necessary? Yes. Memory and imagination working together.
Do you still experience fear? Or maybe freedom begins the moment you stop running from yourself.
For millions of people, Bruce Lee is the greatest martial artist of all time. But beyond martial arts, he left behind a profound philosophical legacy. In his writings, he reflected on consciousness, freedom, and the nature of human fear. This reconstructed conversation is inspired by the ideas found throughout his philosophical works.
Do you believe fear is necessary? Necessary for what? For survival, for discipline, for understanding danger. Physical danger is real. If a car comes toward you, your body reacts. That is intelligence.
But psychological fear, that is something else entirely. Most of the time, people are not afraid of what is happening. They are afraid of what could happen.
You mean imagination? Yes. Memory and imagination working together. The mind creates an image of pain, failure, rejection, loneliness, and then the body responds as if it is already real.
That is why many people suffer constantly, even in safe rooms.
So fear is illusion? Not completely. The feeling exists. The heartbeat is real. The tension is real. But the source is often fiction. A man remembers humiliation from 10 years ago, and tomorrow he is still reacting to it. Another imagines losing status, respect, identity, and he lives defensively his entire life.
He is not living in reality anymore. He is living in mental projection.
Why do people cling to that projection?
Because they are attached to an image
of who they should be. Strong, successful, accepted, in control. And once you become attached to an image, fear appears immediately, because now you must protect it. Protect it from what?
From life, from change, from failure, from truth. People say they want freedom, but often they only want comfort. True freedom is dangerous because it requires honesty.
Honesty about what?
About yourself. Most people perform constantly. Different face for family, different face for society, different face for ambition. After years of this, they no longer know what is genuine, and this separation creates anxiety.
So fear grows when a person moves away from himself?
Exactly. You begin acting instead of observing, controlling instead of understanding. The mind becomes noisy, and overthinking is a form of distance from reality. Reality is always here, immediate, simple, but thought pulls people away from the present moment. The mind says, what if I fail? What if I lose? What if they reject me? Meanwhile, life is happening now.
That sounds close to meditation.
Not escape, awareness, to see clearly without distortion. When you observe yourself honestly, fear changes. Sometimes it disappears entirely.
Entirely?
Because you stop feeding it. Fear needs psychological time, past and future. But when attention is completely present, there is only this moment. And in many moments, there is actually nothing to fear. Do you still experience fear? Of course. But I try not to become loyal to it.
What do you mean?
Some people build identity around fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not belonging. Eventually, fear becomes personality, and then they defend the prison they created.
So what is the alternative?
To express honestly, not violently, not carelessly, honestly. To move naturally, to speak naturally. To live without constantly editing yourself for others. That is difficult.
Why?
Because society rewards imitation very early. Children learn quickly, approval is safer than authenticity. So they adapt, and adaptation becomes habit. Years later, they feel empty, but they do not understand why. A human being should not become a fixed pattern. That is why I say be aware, not rigid.
And that reduces fear?
Rigidity creates fear.
Water adapts.
If you cling to identity too tightly, life will break you repeatedly. But if you remain fluid, open, attentive, fear has less space to grow.
Then perhaps freedom is not the absence of fear, but the absence of illusion.
Perhaps. Or maybe freedom begins the moment you stop running from yourself.